I'm Ethan Demura.
And I'm Justin Germain, and this is LaSalle Center.
This week's show covers our varsity football team as they played the Blue Streaks last Friday in Saratoga.
Our golf team had a number of matchups this week, including CBA, Catholic High, and Troy.
The cross-country team competed in the Voorheesville Invitational.
And our soccer team started the season.
All coming up on LaSalle Center. Starting off our show, we're going to head over to Jake Perry with the results of last Friday's football game.
Jacob Perry here with LaSalle Sports Network. We're out here at Saratoga as the LaSalle Cadets go to kick off the start of their season against the Saratoga Blue Streaks.
Last Friday night at Saratoga, the Cadets started their season against the Blue Streaks. Saratoga racked up a 20-0 lead before the Cadets got rolling. After scoring 2 touchdowns, the Cadets were down 7 with a halftime score of Saratoga 20 and LaSalle 14. After the Cadets took the opening kickoff, Joe Germanario would run it in from a yard out on a quarterback sneak. After the successful PAT by Zach Hurst, the Cadets had trimmed Toga's lead down to 7. Unfortunately for our Cadets, the Blue Streaks started to pour it on. In the fourth quarter, LaSalle scored their final touchdown, and in the end, Saratoga was victorious over LaSalle in a final score of 49-28.
This is Justin Germain presenting a new feature on LaSalle Center, the Sports Quote of the Week. With the Sports Quote of the Week is Mr. Maloney.
Confidence means you can always get the job done. I've always believed that I could get the job done. By Johnny Unitas.
And now, Coach's Corner with Ethan Demura.
Hello, I'm Ethan Demura. I will be your host today, and this is Coach's Corner. With me today is the varsity head soccer coach, Coach Michelle. We have a lot of questions for you, and we're hoping to get some answers.
Okay.
We want to know, last year you had a lot of good starters. You had Ben Bury in goal. And we kind of want to know, losing a lot of seniors, how does that really affect the team going into this season?
I think not only did we lose a lot of seniors, we lost a lot of impact seniors. You mentioned Ben Bury. Anytime you lose somebody like that, it's going to be a big hole to fill. Ben is perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime program type keeper. He all-state. You can't just replace something like that. We lost the entire back four, so we have a lot of guys at this point in time who don't have a lot of experience, and so that's going to be one of the biggest things is that we're really going to have to develop these other guys that are coming in because they don't have the experience. So early on, it's really going to be a learning process, I think, for many of the guys. But we have a lot of guys coming back, which will help that transition. But yeah, you lose four starters in the back. You're going to have some rough patches and some bumps. And yesterday in our scrimmage, we saw that. But we're learning. The guys are eager to learn, and anytime you have guys that are willing to learn and work hard, you can replace those types of seniors.
Interesting. Now you were talking about you need to kind of develop them, kind of get them back to where you were last year. What have you been really doing to prepare them to take on those roles that have holes in them?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we did this summer, we spent a week at a training camp at St. Lawrence. And the way that works, basically, you get a professional coach to come along with you for the week, and they do the skills and drills, and I kind of watch. And but it's tough training, actually. The director of the whole camp says that Lake Placid Olympians don't train as hard as we do in that week. So that was one of the things. We got together early on and got a chance to play some other teams and really train and work people into kind of what we're doing. I also do a lot of things on the side with education. I give them a binder. It talks about the formation, the responsibilities that they have, my goals and expectations for them. So we spend a lot of that time as well researching and figuring out what we need to do to be successful. So we've done that already, and preseason so far we've worked hard. We're not going to be a team that will be as deep as last year, so we need to be very well conditioned. The style that I play is kind of like a pressing when we don't have the ball, so you have to be really in shape for that. And we also play a very possession-based game, kind of like Germany. Germany this past season in the World Cup, they won because they kept the ball, got the ball back when they lost it, and that's the style we want to play. So we need to be in shape to do that. And so we've been really working hard so far.
Now, I know this is, about your third season as the head coach, and, you're not really the new guy anymore. You kind of got, a feel for things, and, going to the training camp and working with a professional coach, has that kind of affected your coaching style at all?
When I first started, I actually first started coaching varsity when I was 23 years old. I'm a slightly bit older than that now, but when I first came out of college, I was almost kind of this guy who I know everything and really didn't work as hard to expand my knowledge. And over the past couple of years, I've really taken opportunities to grow my own knowledge. You're never, ever fully at the top. If you think that you're at the top as a coach, then that's problematic. You can always improve, you can always grow. And I'm always trying to get better as a coach now. Really spend a lot of time off the field studying the game. This past February, I spent time in England with a professional academy. What professional academies do is they train little kids in England to become professional players. So I sat for a full week in this academy with these professional coaches, really learning how I can take players here at LaSalle to another level. I've always been kind of a player's coach, kind of in the mold of Coach K. Coach K, shows his, he loves his players, he cares about his players, he develops really decent relationships with them. But at the same token, not to cross him. If you make him angry, he will come down on you. I'm a player's coach, and I think I've always been that way. But I've been able to find a way to develop a rapport with each and every one of my players, show them that they matter to the program, whatever their role is, whether they're a starter or whether they come off the bench or whether they may not come off the bench, but we need you for vocal support. I think in that regard, I've spent more time focusing on that than I did when I was first started out. And I'm a huge fan of the psychological.
Oh, right.
Really getting players to buy in here and building confidence and all of that. So I spend a lot of time with that as well, kind of like the sports science behind the mentality, all of that. So.
Now, I just have one final question for you. In the off season, there's been a lot of talk about the Big Ten is no longer a league. Do you think this affects the schedule at all? Do you think that this makes it tougher? Do you think it makes it a little easier for you? Is there anything that you need to do to kind of prepare for the teams you haven't played before?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we're in a situation here at LaSalle where we play in the AA, and within our league, the independent league, we only have 3 AA schools that we play. From there, we're playing a bunch of A and even in some cases B schools. Without a league record, we don't have a league record to rely on for sectional seeding. So everything's a non-league game, and therefore it places even added importance on winning all of our games, or having a really strong record going to sectionals for seeding purposes. So in that regard, it makes it a little bit more challenging, whereas maybe last year or 2 years ago, during non-league games, I could play everybody, and everybody got a chance because they didn't have as much value. Now they're as important as a league game because we don't have a league. And of course the boys want to represent themselves well in this new independent league. Even though there wouldn't be a banner, independent league banner in the gym, they still want to aspire to that. So in that regard, it still makes every game challenging. When we play some of these new teams that we haven't seen before, it might make the game a little bit more challenging, especially in the first 20, 30 minutes, and then you can kind of see what's happening, we can adjust. You don't have like the inside information. And we do scouting reports when we play teams that are in our league, Albany, Schenectady, CBA. Going into those games, we can look at the whiteboard and we can draw up this person's going to be here and they like to play the ball here, so we know we've got to do that. But in terms of playing, we're going to play Ichabod Crane this year. It's somebody somebody we haven't seen before. So we really got to adapt on the fly, and really, as coaches, be ready to adopt any type of game plan at halftime, changes that need to be made, really watch what's happening. So that'll make it a little bit more difficult, but it's interesting, it's challenging, that's the way we like it. So.
Well, I think that you answered a lot of, hard-hitting questions that we had, and thank you for your time, and, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, here's Mike Carr with the soccer results.
This is Mike Carr reporting from Sutton Field, where the varsity soccer team takes on the Albany Falcons in their home opener. The Cadets are 2-2 so far this season and are coming off a 4-0 win in their last game against Catholic Cod.
On Tuesday, September 9th, the Cadets soccer team went up against Albany at our home field. Alexei Brosnahan scored the opening goal to give the Cadets a 1-0 lead. Albany then tied up the game going into halftime. Our Cadets put up a great fight, but Albany was victorious 2-1.
Jacob Perry here with LaSalle Sports Network. We're here at LaSalle's home course where they're facing off against CBA.
This past week, LaSalle's golf team faced CBA at Freer Park. Unfortunately, the Cadets came up short to CBA. On September 8th, LaSalle was in a three-way match versus Catholic High and Troy. The Cadets won the match. The low medalist was the Cadets' Cameron Bott.
Next week on LaSalle Center, the Coach's Corner is with Athletic Director Mr. Santander,
Another edition of Mr. Maloney's Sports Quote of the Week.
and highlights of all the home games in next week's schedule.
And to all cadets, tonight's game versus CBA is very important to our schedule. Come out at 7 p.m. in Sutton Field to support our cadets.
I'm Ethan DeMuro.
And I'm Justin Germain.
Have a good weekend.
And good luck, cadets.